Hello. I actually got way more views in my last video than I was expecting. So I figured that I would continue the trend and the trend of the talking about my opinion on prices and go ahead and talk about Cardano because it's one I feel pretty strongly about and I'm pretty passionate about its future. Quickly before I begin, I want to reiterate some of my points I talked about last time. I don't think that basing purchasing decisions or really your own personal hype around technical analysis is smart because a lot of the time it's wrong. So it's better to be on the safe side and not participate too much in technical analysis and not try to hype yourself up on it because usually it's either wrong or sometimes it's right, but I think it's best to kind of stray away from that. So I'm going to be talking about some different outlets and what they think from their technical analysis, but that's not to establish what I think, and that's more to establish kind of the general consensus about Cardano's future. So to begin, I own Cardano, and I think it has a pretty bright future, especially with how it's been in the past a couple weeks or so. I bought pretty early here. I really wish I bought down here, but I bought around over here. So I'm really happy with where it's going and where it's been. It's been, the entire market has been pretty strange the past couple days. That's why you see it's around $1. It's been hovering around that for a couple days. With these little ups and downs here, which that's a pretty weird candle there. But anyways, so it's not been doing as well as it was. As you can see up here, it's almost reached $1.20. But overall, I don't really want to talk about right now because I think its trend line right now is pretty it's not very important, and because I think Cardano is a pretty long-term investment personally. I think it's going to take a while to get to its maximum potential, which for me, I'm just going to straight up and say it. I think Cardano's maximum potential is probably around $8 to $10, and that's me being very optimistic. And that's just through seeing the technology that it offers, and like I said, that's just my opinion and kind of how I see it and what I want to believe on it. So formulate your own opinions, but I want to start off by kind of going over what some other people think. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Smarterium, I might be butchering that name, but they say that they think that Cardano will reach $2.50 this year and $10 within the next 5 years, which I think that's a pretty optimistic price prediction, and I think it definitely could reach that with the technology that comes with it, and some people go as far as to say it has better technology than Ethereum. So I think there's definitely a road for it to reach $10 within the next 5 years, but it's a road that has to be like treaded on carefully, and we could very well stray away from that for better or worse. Now Coinpedia, which is not my favorite website, but they think that Cardano will reach $13 by the end of 2021, and that is very optimistic. $13 by the end of 2021, I think, might not happen. The only way it could even reach something close to that by the end of this year is if some technology drops that's on their roadmap, and it accumulates an insane amount of hype. I think that's probably, so we get some celebrity endorsements. I think that's probably some of the only ways that it'll reach prices like that within the next year. But overall, that would be pretty crazy. And at even $10, Cardano would be up there with Ethereum and Bitcoin in terms of market cap. So $13, Cardano would have to literally be like an unforeseen jump that would, I think, is from what I know about like cryptocurrency and just markets in general, that sounds pretty unlikely to me, but obviously it could happen, I guess. The reasoning for Coinpedia is so I'm gonna have the roadmap up on screen if you want to look at that for kind of the technology that they're offering within the coin, and decentralization and kind of all that's working. I know they recently released the Deadliest thing for better staking and all that stuff, so I don't know too much about like the exact type of technology that they're releasing, but I do know that it's contributing pretty heavily to kind of the consensus around the coin. So the roadmap's on screen right now. You can take a look at that. So Coinpedia thinks it'll reach $13 solely because of the development roadmap and how they think it poses a pretty bright future for Cardano, and the technology in specific gives it the potential to grow to $13 by the end of 2021. Which I mean, it definitely could happen. It might not. I think it's a pretty optimistic, prediction. I definitely agree more with the $10 the next 5 years prediction. And even that would be pretty insane. Not insane per se, but it would definitely be very good for Cardano, and would prove Cardano to be one, like, in the top couple cryptocurrencies. So yeah, or maybe it won't be by then, but who knows? It's a very unpredictable market right now, which is why I don't agree with technical analysis, because cryptocurrency is very, very unpredictable, and it's hard to get a very correct prediction on price. So for me, when I'm looking at price predictions, especially for Cardano and Dogecoin, I think it's important not to be dead set on a certain price, not to be dead set on, say, oh, it's going to be $10 by the end of this, or Dogecoin's going to be $1 by the end of March, or something like that, because those are usually very risky claims to make, in that there's usually not enough base around those claims to, like, make you confident enough to say them, usually. So I think it's important to kind of keep your opinion drifting around different prices and keeping the hype down. And just most importantly, deciding, I think it's pretty binary, like cryptocurrency opinions. I think you either think it's going to have a bright future or you don't. I think it's kind of unhealthy to participate or like contribute to it's going to reach this by this, but it's also important to know what people are thinking, because a big part of what makes cryptocurrency valuable and like what drives up the value is the hype surrounding and the popularity surrounding a specific coin. You see that with Dogecoin, you see that with Cardano recently. So there's a lot of things that contribute to that. So it's important to pay attention to what people think it's going to go. But I think for an individual, it's you shouldn't be too dead set on a specific price, mostly for not you want to keep expectations low. As I said in the last video, that's like one of my biggest points. And not only that, just don't have many expectations at all. And like I said, binary. It'll go up or it'll go down. I personally think with Cardano, it'll go up. I think Cardano could get within the couple dollar range to maybe $10, maybe within a long term date. I do not expect or think Cardano will reach anywhere near $5 to $10 this year, just because for me that seems kind of like a stretch. It seems kind of like a goal that could or could not be achieved. I think it's just too unlikely for me to think that it'll happen for sure, even though it could. It's pretty unlikely from what I understand. So yeah, I think it's, like I said, it's important to not have expectations. And with Cardano, my very vague expectations are that it'll go up. But yeah, I'm thinking long term. When I'm talking about holding Cardano, I'm thinking the next 5 years is really my time frame. And hopefully by then it'll turn a decent profit. It might not, or it could be a more profitable thing short term, and it might crash. But personally, I think it'll go up, and I've been buying at the dips and holding, or whatever everyone says, diamond hands, all that kind of stuff. I've definitely been going that, and I don't plan on selling Cardano anywhere in the short term unless it spikes in price or anything to the point where I feel uncomfortable leaving it. So yeah, that's really what I think about Cardano. I think it's probably going to go up. I mean, you see 94% of the readers of the Coinpedia article that said $13 by the end of 2021 think that it's going to rise. And they don't agree with it. There's no specific on that poll, but the poll says that 94% of those that read that article do think it's going to rise. So I think the general consensus among most people is that Cardano is going to go pretty high, and at least from here. And I think it's still a pretty early time to get in on Cardano, whether it's going to go up or down. I think there's not a lot of hype surrounding it. It's still got a little bit of a low-key coin, at least compared to something like Ethereum or like even Dogecoin. I think Cardano is still a little bit on the down low. So if you want a like a cheap and fun coin to look at, I would personally buy a little bit. I have, but as always, just don't invest more than you can afford. You know, keep very vague expectations, and you know, do your own research. I think is very important. I think it's important to establish your own opinions. Though I like sharing mine. So yeah, if you found my opinion helpful, or if you kind of liked what I had to say, be sure to like the video and give me a sub as well as obviously don't have to, but yeah, I've been enjoying talking about this kind of stuff, and you know, I liked the reception that I got from my Dogecoin video. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.